Welcome to the Tempo Storm deck introduction for Wild Even Shaman. In Standard, prior to the nerfs, Shaman had been a dead class for the past few expansions. Thankfully, in Wild we have cards like Tunnel Trog and Totem Golem, which allowed for aggro Shaman to persist as a viable archetype for the class. However, brewing under the surface for some time has been the ability for a solid mid-range deck to emerge from the class, as it's always had fairly good early-game threats and solid mid-game minions. Prior to the nerfs, Even Shaman has been one of the dominant decks on the Wild ladder, and with the reduction of the number of Even Paladins and Q-blocks, the deck is primed to be one of, if not the best deck on the ladder at the moment. With the introduction of the Witchwood, Shaman was given not just Gen Greymane to support the Even archetype, but also Merkspark Eel. The ability for the class to make totems efficiently really allows for the deck to synergize strongly with one of the stronger class cards that Shaman has to offer, like Flame Tongue Totem, Thing from Below, and even the neutral Sea Giant. Merkspark Eel allows for the class to take advantage of the current meta, having the average 2-drop containing 2 health. This allows for our 2-drop to take out another 2-drop when it's played early and be around on board to contest any additional aggression for a large tempo swing. This, along with Maelstrom Portal and Devolve, allows for Even Shaman to outpace most aggressive decks on the ladder and contest for board quite easily. This deck is one that benefits the most from having access to wild cards, as 19 of the cards included in the typical deck list are wild cards. The Jade cards allow for the deck to provide some early game and ramp up pressure over time, while the strong 4-mana slot includes cards like Flame Wreath Faceless, Piloted Shredder, and even Totem Carver. Devolve is also a crazy powerful card, as it works as a transform effect against demons, as well as a mass silence when you have wide boards of taunts, like when a druid opponent plays Spreading Plague. The game plan of this deck is fairly straightforward, and actually pretty similar to how old-school mid-range Shaman played. Against aggro, you want to use your efficient removal with cards like Maelstrom Portal, Merkspark Eel, and Jade Claws. Against Paladin, you can easily maintain board control, so your main concern should be Sunkeeper Tarim, which occasionally can give Paladin the chance to get back into the game. Against Burn Mage, you want to go wide and contest their early-game threats. You will easily get the board throughout the game, so once stabilizing board presence, playing around their explosive ruins and burn becomes a priority. In the Even Shaman mirror, Devolve is your friend. If you can get a Devolve on a Flame Wreath Faceless into a random 3-drop, you can swing the board massively. Against control decks, you want to provide as much early game pressure as possible. Then, when they start dropping mid-game taunts to burn them out with damage spells. Against most of these decks, Devolve is a lifesaver, but you need to be wise about when you use it. Against Warlock, it's better to try and devolve a Void Caller rather than letting it survive and devolve the Void Lord, as 8 mana cards are particularly strong and wild, and you commonly pull other taunts like Lich King and Tyrion. Against Druid, you want to be holding onto your Devolve for their Spreading Plague, as giving your opponent a board of 1-mana minions when you already have a presence is game-winning. There are currently 2 overarching versions of the deck on the ladder that are seeing widespread play. The first is the one that focuses more on a solid mid-game with Shredders and Jugglers, while the second runs Corpse Taker, Whirling Zap-O-Matic, and even Alakir. Besides these 2 main variants of the deck, there are a notable number of other cards that can be included in the list, such as Haunted Creeper, Spirit Claws, Ragnaros, and Sylvanas. The current top end runs Sea Giants, but if token decks go out of favor, then other large minions may start seeing play like Lich King. Here we have 3 lists that hit #1 legend with the deck. Here's Reno Jackson's list, Awe Dragon's list, and Corbet's. With the nerfs underway, Even Shaman seems in a prime spot to jump from its already powerful status to a deck that has the potential to be one of the best. It will be interesting to see how this deck adjusts to the shift in the wild meta, and see if it has the resilience to combat some of the new archetypes that'll start emerging as powerful decks this time around. As always, please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and join the discussion in the comments below. Let us know what you'd like us to cover in our next deck introduction. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to speed with all of Tempo Storm's Hearthstone news and content. Thank you!